Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brenna. I own Brenna M Co. As you can see from the title of this video, we are doing my 2023 market recap. I meant to film this like 2 months ago, but time just got away from me. That's okay, so now we're filming it. And before we get started, I have to show you this. I have one pup here and one pup there. They are with me in the office today, just chilling. But the main reason why I wanted to do this video is to show like what markets I will be doing this year, what markets I won't be doing and why, and also just like my take on doing markets in general. A little disclaimer, I will be talking about how much I made at each market and like the hourly wage. And I'll also be talking about how much I spent at the market, so that's like hotels and like traveling. So if you don't like that stuff, maybe don't watch this video, because honestly I don't care if people know how much I made at a market, because it's going to help you understand why I may not be doing that market or why I may be doing that market, or just my take on why I thought it was a good market or a bad market. This is just from me. Like, this isn't just because I say like how much I made or the hourly wage of the market does not mean that you'll make that or that you won't make that. Just take it with a grain of salt, please. So here is my 2023 market recap. Okay, so we're gonna start out with our first market of the year in 2023. So our first market of 2023 was the Home and Garden Show. This market actually just happened last weekend this year, and as you guys may know from not seeing a market video, is that I didn't do it. So this one was February 24th to the 26th, 2023, and it is in my hometown. It's at the Fargo Dome, and at that one I had a double booth. The booth space was kind of weird. It was like, for a double, it's a 20 by 8, and normally they're like 20 by 10 if you do a double booth at most markets. And so one, you're kind of restricted on your booth space, which I personally didn't like because I have so much stuff that I didn't really know what to do or how to set it up. And the market was a total of 21 hours. It was a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday event, and that's not including like setup time or getting everything into the car, anything like that. And in total I made $1,796. This is about $85 an hour, which you might be saying, oh, $85 an hour, like that's so good, but it's really not. For 3 days and making $1,700. That's actually terrible in my eyes, and that is why I didn't do that this year, because I could do so much more with my time. And I'm really glad I didn't do it, because one of my small business friends, Sarah, she actually did it again this year, and she was texting me and saying how boring it was and how it was so dead and no one was shopping. So I'm really glad that I didn't do it, and I probably won't do it again next year. Our second market is a couple months later. This one was April 28th through the 29th. This one was the Junkin Market. Now I did this one in the fall of 22, and it was so bad. The fall one was just absolutely terrible, but I had a lot of vendors like telling me, don't worry, like the spring one is way better, like you should do the spring one. So then I decided to do the spring one, give it a chance, because you know everyone deserves second chances. And at this one I got a double booth. It was $375 just for the double, and it was a Friday and Saturday event, and it was 10 hours long in total. And in total I ended up making $1,742, which is about $174 an hour. Now this one wasn't bad. I debated whether or not doing it this year, but I decided not to, because I still just felt like $1,700 for 10 hours was still just not enough for me to justify doing it again, because I remember it being so boring, like for hours on end, and I just knew like I can do something else with my time instead of sitting there and just like twiddling my thumbs waiting for people to come and shop. This next market, our third market of 2023, is a market that I didn't do in 2022, but I did it in 2021 and 2020. And the reason why I didn't do it in 22 is because the booth fee like went up, and it was just not worth it whatsoever. But last year I decided to do it again because the booth fee went down, and I just knew like it would be so worth it. So our third market of 2023 was the West Fargo Street Fair, and this was on June 17th. It was only 5 hours long, which some people might think like, oh, that's so not worth it. But honestly, like when you're outside, this was on a very windy street, and so I knew that it was gonna be worth it, because I mean, you can make $200 back maybe in an hour or 30 minutes or in like a couple purchases, specifically for like my products. And it's only 5 hours long. You're outside. You're already going to be so tired just after setting up in the morning and then doing the market that full day. And this is why I am for sure doing this one again this year. In total, I made $2,470, which equals out to about $494 an hour. This one is so worth it. I already signed up for this one and paid the invoice, so I'm super excited to do this one this year, and I think it's gonna be so much better. Our fourth one of 2023 was one that I've never done before, but I decided to take a chance and just do it. This one was Pride in the Park. It was in Minneapolis, so I had to drive 4 hours and also stay in a hotel for about 3 nights I think. And at this one, I only had a single booth because that's pretty much all they had left, which I was like, okay, like no worries, I'll just see how it goes. And for a single booth, it was $532, and it was a total of 17 hours. So obviously with this market, I had expenses because it wasn't in my hometown, and in total for expenses, I ended up spending like $1,182, which seems like a lot. And when you look at how much I made, it's kind of like, I ended up making $2,527, which equals out to about $148 an hour. This is not taking away the expenses, okay? But I may be doing this one again this year. Now, hear me out. Last year, I had a single booth. I was low in stock. I only brought my car down. This is when I didn't have my trailer yet, so I had to pack everything in my car, and I didn't have a whole lot of room for inventory. And last year, after the first day, even like 3/4 of the way done with the first day, I was running out of apparel. I had nothing left. I was running out of accessories, so I brought like car air fresheners and like stickers and stuff, and I was running out of all of it. So when Saturday came, it was like a ghost booth. So I'm still debating. I'm really going towards doing it again and getting a double booth this year, and then I obviously have my trailer, so I can bring like a ton of inventory in with me. But yeah, I know a lot of people are gonna like be like, Brenna, don't do that one. But you have to think about it, like single booth, literally ran out of stock, and I now have a trailer, so like I can bring more with me. For our fifth craft fair of the year, it was the Fargo Street Fair. This one is July 13th through the 15th last year, and this was actually my third year maybe doing it, and I absolutely love it. The hours are very, very long, but it's so worth it in the end, you guys. So for a double booth, it was $850. This one goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they're typically like 12-hour days besides Saturday, which is like a total of like 31 hours it was. And listen to this, you guys. In total, okay, I have this written down. In total, I made $8,896, which I know it might not seem like a lot for like how many hours it truly was, which I ended up making like $286 an hour. But this one is just so worth it because I get my business out there in my community even more, because tons of people go to the Fargo Street Fair every single year. I'm not sure exactly how many people attend, but there's at least 10,000 people attending maybe each day or just like the 3 days. Like, it becomes so incredibly busy, and I just think I will never stop doing this one because I absolutely love it, even with like the horror stories that I have mentioned in the past and like the videos and like all that stuff. But this one is just right in my heart. Like, I love this one, and I remember getting into it for the first time and I was just filled with so much joy because this one is so hard to get into. Last year, they actually had to start opening up like side streets for vendors to be in because so many people had applied to it. So I'm not gonna stop this one anytime soon because I feel like if I stop doing it just 1 year, they won't let me back in the next year. Number 6 of the year was Pride in the Park in my hometown. This one was on August 12th. It was just a single day one. And this was the cheapest one I have ever done. It was $163, and in total it was 5 hours long. I'm really debating if I should do this one again too, just because I ended up making $16.44, which averaged out to about $328 an hour. Now, why am I debating this one? I'm debating this one because you had to carry everything to your booth space, and it's not like your booth space was close to like where you could park. Like it was far and a ton of work. Like my stuff is super heavy too, and like I don't have a cart besides like my little pink wagon to bring stuff to the booth. And so that's really where I am debating on. Like I love convenience, so that's why I'm debating that one. On to craft fair number 7. It was the Grand Forks Street Fair. It was a 2-day event, but I had to go up the day before. And this one I also had a double booth at, and the total cost for the double booth was $450, which is actually not that bad of pricing. And this one was a total of 18 hours. It was a Friday and Saturday event. But for this one, I obviously had to travel, and we also had a hotel. And so in total for expenses, I ended up spending $1,050, but I ended up making $4,433 at this craft fair, which equals out to about $246 an hour. Now, in my eyes, I thought this one was a really good one. There was some like downtime where it was kind of dead, but overall, I just thought it was a really good event. And it's only about an hour and 15 away from my hometown, so it's not like too bad of traveling. So I will definitely be doing this one again. All right, we're on the last page, you guys. Our 8th craft fair of 2023 was the Island Park event. And if you guys saw that video, you know that it was absolutely terrible. But let's get into the little gist of it. So for a double booth, it was $390, and it was a 2-day event, so it was a Friday and Saturday, and in total it was 13 hours long. This is just where it was like, oh my gosh, it was so bad. I ended up making $1,060, which equals out to about $81 an hour. Now, if you saw that video, you will know how dead it was. It was completely dead. I was so bored, and I honestly think that might have been the worst craft fair I ever did that year, and let's just say I will not be going back this year. Okay, these are where we get to my absolute favorite ones. Our 9th one of the year was the big one at the Fargo Dome, which is in my hometown, and the double booth was $420. This one was also a 2-day event, and it was 18 hours in total. If you guys saw this craft fair video, you will know that I literally sold out of products. Like all my apparel was gone. I had to run home in the middle of Saturday, get more apparel. Like it was just absolutely insane, you guys. And this was my 2nd year of doing this one specifically. And in total, I ended up making $4,532, which averaged out to be $251. And I personally really like this one because it's indoors, and I always have my sister normally helping me at these craft fairs, and so I'm allowed to like leave the booth, go get food, go walk around, just kind of get my legs moving. But yeah, I really like this one. I'm already doing it again. Like I already signed up, so I'm so excited to do it again. And then this same event has 3 different locations. So they have the Fargo, they have Bismarck, and they have Minot. And I did all 3 this year. So the next one that we did was in November, and this one was also the big one, and it was in Minot. So I had to travel yet again. But this one, the double was only $300, and it was a 2-day event, 18 hours. And total for expenses, I only spent $900, which is actually on the cheaper side from when I do events, because like hotel and gas and food, that's all that I take into like the expenses. And this is another one where I literally sold out. I was running out of products. Like I had my trailer by this time, and I brought as much as I thought like I needed, and apparently I needed to bring more. But in total, I ended up making $5,417, which equaled out to be like $300 an hour. Such a good one. And then our last one of the year was the big one in Bismarck. Again, this is another travel one. I had to travel and get a hotel. For a double booth at this one, it was $340, and in total for expenses, I spent $920. Again, this one was a 2-day event, 18 hours in total, and I ended up making $3,369, which equals out to $187 an hour. Now, this one was still like pretty good. I'm still planning on doing it again, just because it's like right around Christmas time, last minute gifts, but also like people have pretty much already spent their money for like Christmas gifts. But I plan on going back back and doing all 3 of the big ones because I just love the event organizers. They are so kind, they are so sweet, they're so helpful, and they just always put on like a really good show. Okay, so for all the data, so in total I did 11 total craft fairs last year. Now this might not seem like a lot to some people, but it's a lot to me, and I felt burnout by the end of the year. About when like November, October hit, I was burnt out. And so let's just say this year I won't be doing as many because I want to enjoy time with my family at the lake. Plus I'm getting married this fall, so like there's a couple that I can't do in general. In total for expenses, I ended up spending $7,050. That's like booth fee, hotel, and food costs. And you can't forget about gas, like traveling and stuff. That kind of seems outrageous, like a lot, but the total dollar amount of sales that I had was $37,891. So you can be the judge if $7,000 in expenses was worth making $37,000. Totally was. I had so much fun. I love being able to spend time with my sister, just her and I, doing these events. And I'm so glad that she's also passionate about my business. And I just love meeting new people. I had so many people come up to me this year and they were like, I follow you on YouTube. Like, I love your YouTube videos. Like, I had to come check you out. I love your craft fair videos. And I truly just love making the craft fair videos as well. Like, it's just a fun thing to do to also pass time and just show like a little bit more into like what really goes on when businesses do these events. The average hourly wage for the craft fairs was $234, which is pretty good to me. Like, I know some people are like, oh, I'm making like $21 an hour or whatever at like my full-time day job. But like, this is also like including like apparel. Like, you have to think about how much money you spend on the materials. And I didn't put that in here just because I didn't feel like it. I would have to do even more math and I don't really feel like doing that. And the total amount that I spent on hotels was $1,630. So for this year, my plans for 2024, I am for sure doing the West Fargo Street Fair, the Fargo Street Fair, and the Grand Forks Street Fair, as well as the big ones, all 3 of them this fall. And I'm debating on Pride in the Park in Minneapolis. I think I want to do it. I'm just like kind of a little bit like, I don't know. But we'll see when the time comes. And one new one that I'm doing this year is the big one in Minot this spring. So they actually have 4 a year, but last year I ended up going on a trip, so I couldn't do the spring one in Minot. And Minot was so good to me last fall. It was the first time I ever went to Minot, and again, I like sold out. I was running out of inventory, and so I'm really excited to go back this April, and this is actually going to be my first craft fair of the year. But yeah, that is my 2023 market recap. I hope this video wasn't boring to a lot of you. I hope you guys actually like thought it was insightful or interesting. I always think it's interesting like looking back at how they went and what went on and what I will do differently and if I will go back. But I'm so excited to start filming more market videos. I know you guys really enjoy them and I just enjoy filming them in general. So I'm gonna end this video here. If you guys enjoyed it, please give a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.